Hello, everyone. Lasai Monique here for A New Way. Thanks for joining me. So, I've been doing a lot of introspection, self analysis, cleaning up, doing the inner work, as everybody's saying, the shadow work. And I ask myself, why do we lie? Why do we fib? Why do we tell untruths? Why do I lie? And, raised, religious and, I'm more spiritual than religious. And, tapping into, my higher power and also observing, looking at the world patterns, looking at our behavioral patterns, my behavioral patterns, and listening to a lot of people, going to therapy, listening to other people in group therapy, talking to even strangers, friends, family, coworkers, just general conversations I've had throughout my life, really. And but now, so now I'm a better listener. I'm really listening because when we listen, we half listen, and doesn't help with all these devices and multitasking mindset that we have. But I'm doing better. I'm doing better, and I'm glad I'm making myself listen, especially when I hear something I don't like. We automatically shut off. And part of that is self preservation. You're protecting yourself, your feelings, your emotion, your honor, your reputation. We're protecting something. And so to me, I asked myself, okay, when I was like, when you lie, why are you doing it? And I don't consider myself a liar, but we people excuse white lies because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? Or you don't want to cause trouble, or maybe your life may be threatened. So we're going to exclude all of that right now. But no, when you deliberately tell a lie and you feel bad about it and you knew you were wrong, you ignored that inner voice, but you did it anyway. And that you may have paid for the consequences when it came out and you may have gotten away with it, but you didn't get away with it because it's in your heart. And that causes a lot of pain, trauma, and stress, which again we project it out on other people, places, and things, and it gets us into trouble. And we lose out on opportunities, and people, places, and things, leave us because we were dishonest with ourselves first and then with everybody else. And so we need to take a good look at that so we can free ourselves from that and walk around and truly get into this life and be happy and prosperous and abundant. Like, come on now, it's time. And so again, I ask myself, why do we lie? Why do I lie? And usually it's because I'm embarrassed. I either fall short, I don't have something, or I messed up, I made a mistake, and I don't want to, be the bad person or look bad or lose my job or lose a friend or, lose a relative. And so we lie. And we miss out doubly because we weren't honest with ourselves first and foremost, and we weren't honest with the other person or people. And so I said, okay, we need a technique. We need coping skills. And that's one thing they do not teach in school. And I very, really, rarely in home because the parents are working, and maybe they do, but they can't cover everything. And I guess part of life is for you to discover, experience, trial and error, and discover it. And that's how your wisdom tree grows. That's how you grow wisdom in yourself, is experience, right? Experience lived. But getting back on topic, asking why we lie, it's because of the reward and punishment system that we're under, that we're changing and leaving, thank goodness. And to me, it starts at home. Little kids, come into the realm, come into the world, and they like to touch things because that's how they learn. They don't speak English or whatever language. They don't know anything, and they're trusting you as parents. We as caregivers or teachers, they're trusting us to not only keep them safe, but to give them the space so they can discover and things on their own, but also teach them what they need to teach so they'll be ready, to fly on their own when they're ready. And we smack, don't touch that. And of course, we want to keep them safe. You don't want them to touch the fire and everything. That's why childproof houses. But kids find a way to get everything, just like little puppies. And so after you childproof the house, they still find ways. And so of course we want to properly discipline, but you start hitting, and then you come yelling, and then it kind of escalates. And I, side note, I really feel that parents need more support, even if both, you have a stay-at-home mom or dad and you have a breadwinner, even if they're working from home. I say utilize college students, teenagers who are responsible, and even older adults who may be retired and want to volunteer, or they may need to supplement their income. In every house, I think the state should pay for it. I think the state government, it should be paid. But if not, we the people the community can do that. Start a program where you match up the right people with the right family, and they're there to assist that family. Of course, you have to have oversight. You make sure everybody's safe, and they get paid to be there in the house with the caregiver. I remember being a teenager, and I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. As a teenager, babysitting for neighbors, we had a stay-at-home mom, and even when she was in the house, I was there watching the kids. Why? Because it freed her up to do things she needed to do. Sometimes she would go shopping, running errands, and taking care of businesses and everything. But I realized, like, this is what they need. See, we need to go back to the village, system. It takes a village to raise a child, but I say it takes a village, period. Even for adults, adults need support too. And so I think there should be extra income, for their family, for families, even if two parents, especially single parents, but two parents, they need that income as well, and we need to find ways where parents, are not working so much, so they don't they need time to spend with their children, that they can actually have the energy and time to do that. You can't just relegate it to the weekend. The kids in the school for 8 hours a day, the parents at home, working work at 8+ hours a day. Like, you come home, you're tired, say a couple words, and you want to eat, you want to watch your TV, and then you want to go sleep. Like, what kind of quality time is that? And so I know it has to be done, but now we have an opportunity to start having these really serious discussion and get into the root and find solutions, because solutions are everywhere. It's solution time. It's Age of Aquarius. Come on, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. So with that being said, I want to segue into the reward and punishment. This is where we mess up. And again, I know discipline is needed, but negative reinforcement works, but you're putting fear and stress and emotion, and follow that up. It's going to manifest somewhere later in life in a really, really bad way. We have tons of criminal activity to prove it. You know what I mean? Things are being revealed, as you know. There's so many, plethora, bad behavior by, politicians. I mean, I can't believe I live in a day and an age where grown men and women who are professionals in suit and ties are literally name calling each other, cussing at each other. A newscasting, situation program. Growing up, it was never like that. It was total respect. We respected our elders. Even if we didn't like the person or we didn't agree, we can agree to disagree. We still showed that respect. Now, the kitchen table talk was a whole nother conversation at home, but in public, we would never disrespect another human being, let alone another colleague, a professional. But no judgment. Understand things have to be done because it's a shake-up time. It's this Age of Aquarius. It's like everybody wake up, because it's time to change. And I know people don't like that phrase woke, but I'd rather be woke and awake and aware of what's really going on, so I can find solutions, I can free myself and help others, than to stay asleep like a little zombie, in the system of reward and punishment. Because what does it do? It pits us against each other, not in even a healthy competitive way, in a demoralizing way. We're demoralized. So it starts with the kid, and Kanye West mentioned this when he had the speech in TMZ. We jumped on at the coffee tables, and kids jump on a coffee table and they get smacked, and what is that teaching them? And of course they're going to rebel, We got the inner fire. We're spiritual beings. We're going to, what I'm saying? we, we're all connected to the Supreme Creator. Like the Supreme Creator, like, excuse me, excuse you. Like, I came here in my world, okay? It's your world too. We're all part of it, but excuse you. So, so the little kids are going to, clap back. That's just, it's natural. Like, what did you do that for? I want to see what this is. I want to touch it. I want to jump on it. I'm not going to hurt it. Like it may break, your child may break it, may hurt themselves, but there's other ways we can do that without, like causing pain, right? And so I'll take it another step further. The reward and punishment really it starts at home, but it gets cemented in school. And here's where it really, really, the programming control, the mind control and conditioning is really like, indoctrination, whatever you want to call it. I'll say programming to be fair. It really causes a lot of jealousy, envy, inferiority, what's the word? Insecurity. You feel inferior to others. And these are children. These are children feeling inferior in an abundant world, in a world they came into that they trusted us to take care of them so they can explore this beautiful place. And we're beating them, you're yelling at them, we're abusing them, we're doing some other unquestionable things to them. And, yet they're highly praised, they're highly valued, they're highly prized and valued, And going back to school though, what happens if you don't get good grades? Straight A's versus F's. We used to call it the class dunce. The picture. You see a little cartoon where the kid sits in the corner, facing the corner with the dunce hats on, and hopefully we're still not doing this in this day and age. But it's really rampant in certain countries. Kids get beat by teachers. And society rewards those who excel and looks down upon those who just don't make the cut. Now, I know we do want to foster intelligence. That's how you protect your country, your nation. That's how you evolve. You want the best and brightest. So we all have the potential to be the best and brightest. Imagine if we all were freely allowed and supported and properly educated to our fullest potential. Humanity would have been evolved off this rock, so to speak. We love the rock though. Thank you, Earth. But what I'm saying is, that's where it starts at home. Kids suck it up because they want to live. They don't know where to go. Like, I'm mad at mom and dad, but I gotta eat. Okay. And so now you go to school, get a little more freedom because you got friends. Yay, got a little more freedom. I don't have to deal with mom and dad, because they're always yelling at me. I can go play on the swings and the seesaw and da-da-da-da. And then the teacher comes in. Stop talking. Sit down. Be quiet. Go to the principal's office, And like I said, some kids get beat by teachers and they're allowed, and without talking and asking like why. Why are you behaving this way? Why are you so angry? And I think it's very interesting that they only have one school counselor, and that counselor hardly works. I mean, I remember even, in junior high, I had a situation where it was so bad at home, I tried to run away from home. And so my mom saw me with the bag, going on the bus. I was going to live in the woods. And she called the counselor, and me and her, we had a really good conversation. And she was telling me that her services aren't really utilized like that. Only if there's like some type of emergency. And there's very rarely emergency. Now, this was back in the day, okay, in the 80s. So, times are different now. Maybe it's different. But I feel like y'all should have like 3 counselors up in that piece, okay? Like 3 counselors, and it's like make some mandatory, check-ins. Put them to work. Because they don't really do much. And maybe it's, like I said, maybe it's different now, but from her own mouth, this is what she said. Okay? And out of all my school careers, like talking to my friends, and when kids get in trouble and they go to their principal, so the whole school hears if somebody's going to the counselor versus the principal, okay, detention, after school suspension, all this stuff. Everybody knows. So like even my friends say, yeah, we never went to the guidance counselor. We never, you know, and I know they can't disclose that if they did, but I wonder what the percentage of like per year of kids who actually either voluntarily go in or pulled aside because there are some suspicions and there are concerns. So post the shootings, I'm quite sure that has changed, but the counseling services are not really utilized. And the problem starts with the reward and punishment. You reward the pretty ones and discard the ugly ones. You ignored the bullies. People getting bullied. They tell you, oh, maybe we're doing something with it now, but bullies pretty much got away with it. Oh, you're suspended. Then right back, even matter. Okay, and then you have the prom queen and king, valedictorian. You have all the cliques start forming because nobody ever, we are human beings, we're communal creatures, we want to be together, we enjoy being together, even if of course we're going to vibe, we want to hang around the ones who we vibe with, but we want to be together. And so we're afraid to be kicked out of the village. That's what it is. We don't want to be by ourselves, so we'll fake the funk. We'll do a whole makeover, get plastic surgery, do all these things, lie, pretend, oh, like, you have all this money, but you don't. Like, oh, yeah, my mom brought me this. And no, you didn't. Just like Eric Cartman in South Park lied about that iPad. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry. But getting back on topic, this is a problem, and it causes division. It's not even, like I said, it's not even healthy competition. To me, away teams versus home team, that's healthy competition, because what? Iron sharpens iron. You're going to get your skill up. But no, we're talking straight up. You're not good enough. If you're not good enough, little boy or girl, we're done with you. You're out. We're not going to give you anything. You're not going to go on trips. We're not going to give you love and affection. We're not even going to acknowledge you. So you're saying we don't value life. That's our whole problem with playing. We don't value life. We talk about God all day, every day. Like 90% of this planet is religious, in some religion or spiritual or something. A higher, everybody believe in a higher power, and the higher power is good. God is love, right? Yet we don't value the life that the Supreme Creator has presented us with. We show it every day, and no judgment. I'm not blaming. I had to look in the mirror and say, wow, I think I'm a nice person, but I'm really starting to see in K-drama, when I started watching K-drama, side note, K-drama, y'all be going in on that heart stuff, that family stuff, and thank you, K-drama made me a better person, because I was like, wow, I thought I did it bad over here, woo, okay, and I started really seeing and really thinking about, because everything I watch now, I equate to real life, because art imitates life, and I really start realizing that it's not just me who's having a hard time. We're all having it, rich or poor. It doesn't matter, male or female, gay or straight. We're living beings, and we're all going through it. And we could make it a lot more enjoyable if we all respected each other, tolerated each other's differences. Scratch tolerated. Really understand, learn the culture, learn each other's languages, and really, also tap into the spiritual, the energy. You can tell when somebody's having a bad day. You can, when you speak, or when you're about to do something, or you did something's wrong. You hurt somebody's feelings. And no, we're not responsible for every single person's feelings, but we're responsible for how we react, what we say, what we do. And a lot of that is based off of the reward and punishment. The society in general values the youth, the pretty, the smart or intelligent, the innovative. And again, that's good, that's normal. But y'all didn't even give everybody else a chance. You didn't properly educate everybody the same way. You didn't properly delve out land. As a matter of fact, y'all took a lot of land that belonged to the indigenous and refused to give it back to. You even refused to apologize to all of them, especially the African American community or the black community. Refusing reparations. Y'all talking about it, but I'm like, dang. I mean, put all that aside, put the reparations aside. Not even an apology. Other folks got an apology, but even that wasn't really sincere. Because when the Native Americans got an apology, an official one, the majority of Americans were upset when people wanted to stop with the Thanksgiving and call it Happy Indigenous People Day. And it's not that they wanted to stop with Thanksgiving. They said, oh, you can say it, but we are going to celebrate it now because, and people who are Native and not Native, who recognize the atrocity, said that's the least we can do. They're not saying get rid of Thanksgiving. Eat your turkey. We're saying we're not going to celebrate it. The indigenous and the Americans who side with them and realize that part of our problem is we lost empathy. We lost common sense. And like I said, not 90% or more of the world's religious, and God is love, and we love the Lord, and the Lord says, love thy neighbor. And we all talk, but it's time to walk the walk, and I'm walking it. And again, I'm one of those people who was blind, dumb, deaf, blind, and ignorant, and now I'm aware and I'm working on myself, and I apologize to everybody, past, present, and future, all here in a moment of now. I ask for forgiveness, and I forgive all because it's freeing, and I see a lot of most humanity. It really isn't our fault. We have been kept in the dark on purpose. Maybe not. Maybe this is a grand test. Some people say, well, Earth is a school, it's a university. So maybe it's a grand test. I don't know. But I'm just saying a lot was kept from us. And because of that, we've behaved, in a way not conducive to anybody's growth, including the Earth, So yes, discipline is key. Education is key. But we have to find new ways to do this, especially with the children. They trusted us. They trusted us as little babies. When you're yelling at them or beating them, and I get it. It's hard. Being a parent is hard. It's hard work. It's frustrating. This is why we need the village. This is why we need the support. And so to wrap this up, reward and punishment, we have to really, really look at this. There's tons of solutions. They're out there. People are talking about it, not in mass like we need to. We keep talking about mental health issues, but we're really still not doing anything about that. So it's up to us as individuals because, the powers that, used to be, they're on the way out, and allegedly, and unfortunately, not everybody is willing to be a part of this new energy coming in, this new way, but we are. And those of us who are, we just have to, like how we treat ourselves. Are we punishing ourselves unnecessarily because we're not good enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not thin enough, we're not buff enough, we're not rich enough, we're not smart enough? We really got to go back and we got to balance life because balance life, but value life, value animals, plants, natures, the sun. Everybody worships the sun and worship the stars, and I question, do we worship the sun because it's beautiful or because we need it? If we didn't need it and it wasn't beautiful, would we even admire it? Everybody admires the stars, not even really sure what they are, what they look like. In reality, we go by what other people have told us, and those people who told us, they kept us in the dark. Just really think about that. A fluoride in water really dyes in our food that directly causes problem. The scents and lotions, they put things that, disrupt our hormones and got us eating crazy. I'm just saying, no judgment, because everybody falls off. We all get that death note, but we have an opportunity to change it around. And this is it. This is it. This is the time. This is the time. So, jealousy, envy, lying comes from shame. It comes from the reward and punishment. We weren't allowed to freely express ourselves because we would get in trouble, we get punished, or we would look bad, or we would get kicked out of the village. And we didn't want to do that. We would lose the guy, the girl, the job, And so, it's time for us to be honest with our feelings. And we can learn to use our words correctly. We don't have to, go in on people, yeah. And if you do, take a breath, take a few, have a moment, ask yourself why you're upset. Why are you about to lie? What do you have to hide? So you lose a friend. So you well, excuse me. And so instead of losing a friend, you have an opportunity to make a new one. I'm gonna try to be positive. So you didn't lose a friend because you told the truth, you spoke your truth. You have an opportunity to make a new one. And I'm not even going to say a real one because they could have been your real friend, but when the season is over, it's over. So I know when you got to know people come into your life for a time, a season, and a duration. It's up to you to know the difference and adjust accordingly. Conscious uncoupling. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Gwyneth Paltrow. Y'all went in on her, but she was right. If you have a conscious uncoupling, you're not mad when the relationship is over, when you lose the job. You let it go, and yeah, you might feel some kind of way for a while, but you smile and take a deep breath and say, hey, well, maybe I need a little solo time. Maybe I need to take a break. Maybe I just slow down. Maybe I have an opportunity now to do something that I always wanted to do. And maybe you run into like the job of your dreams, your purpose. Maybe you run into the person of your dreams, which could possibly be your purpose. And so sometimes, like I said, when one door shuts, another door opens. But if we're so stuck in this, if we lie and not truthful, when that opportunity comes, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss walking through that door because we lie, because we're ashamed, or because we're mad, or because we're angry, because we're jealous. And be happy for people. Be happy. I know you have to really work on that. And what I think jealousy and envy is, and I was going to say it for another clip, but let me go with it. You feel bad. You feel like you missed out. That's what jealousy is. Jealousy is a good warning sign, actually, just like anger is. Tony Robbins said that, and that was, thank you, Tony. That was on point. Instead of looking at our feelings and emotions as being like the bane of society and holding it in, we can express ourselves, calmly and respectfully. And sometimes you can put a little heat in it, you feel some kind of way, just take a couple breaths, bring it down, and, just tell the truth. But other people, we got to be able to receive it and not take it personally. At least, even if you feel offended, go home with it, sit with it, replay in your mind, analyze it, break it down, and then think from the other perspective. Walk in their shoes. Look all sides. And I started saying, okay, what motive, when people, ticked me off or betrayed me or you rejected me, I'm like, okay, what was that about? What did I do wrong? Or why, or if they hurt me, why would they do that? And then that is when, you really start seeing. And of course you ask questions, but really you already know the answer. You know the answer, because the people who hurt you, are, if they're close to you, if you've known them for a while, for a short while, you've seen the signs. You know how they are. And if it's like, you just went for a job and you don't know these people and they rejected you, you kind of already knew because you fudged your resume, didn't you? You fudged your resume. Or your resume was outdated, or you may have the qualifications, but you knew for that particular job you weren't really up to snuff. You weren't. Now maybe you were. Maybe you were overqualified, or maybe, it was some type of other situation, racism or nepotism or something. So I'm exclude that. But we kind of already know why, we do the things we do, why we lie. It's time to face that. And I say it's okay. And what I do, as I said, look, just check it off your spiritual bucket list or your human bucket list. It's in life, you meet these requirements in order to graduate. It's just like going to school. You have to pass this curriculum. You have to pass these, at least the basics. And everybody plays the fool sometimes. No exception to the rule. Love that old song. You just got to do it. And so you got to be embarrassed. You're going to hit rock bottom. But at least the good thing about when you hit rock bottom, you're up and you're going to stay up. Okay? When you hit that, but then again, some people got to hit it more than once. And so That was me, but I got it. So maybe that wasn't rock bottom, but but when you really hit it. So I fell off a couple times. We'll say that. When you fall off a couple times, you get back up and you still fall off. But when you hit rock bottom, especially when it was a life or death situation, oh, you good. You good. It's only up from there. So don't give up. Consider my words. Celebrate other people's victories. You feel bad because you were either worked hard and didn't get recognized, or you were lacking. You didn't do something you need to do. You didn't do the work. They did. They did. Or maybe you were both evenly matched, and it was just that that particular situation required them and not you, and you just have to wait your turn, and that's it. And in the meantime, you could create a new now. And those are my two techniques. I said, okay, so I embarrassed myself. That's all right. Check it off my spiritual bucket list. Check it off my human bucket list. Okay. So now I'm more mindful going forward, about what I speak, what I do. Maybe look things up and educate yourself before you go. Maybe think before you speak. Things like that. And if I do it again, it's okay. That's life. That's life. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And sometimes you can make a pretty decent omelet, but they're always upgrading food, upgrading recipes. And so maybe you want to try like a different, maybe you want to do a quiche this time, honey. You're going to need some more practice with a quiche if you want to get it right. So it's really that simple. So, forgive yourself, forgive others. You don't have to lie. Now, I will say there are some things you need to keep to yourself. So there's a difference. Okay, that's a boundary you have to set. Things, especially if people won't, take it too well, keep it to yourself. If you know that this could potentially hurt other people, and there's no immediate necessity to speak on it because it's not really that deep, don't say it. Just keep it to yourself. If it's private, if it's extremely private, and again, no harm coming to you or others, no emergency situation, keep it to yourself. Because there is such a thing as oversharing. But, maybe there isn't, because if it comes out, I believe there's a reason it comes out. Because we hold a lot of things in, a lot of secrets, and a lot of people get hurt, and we all suffer, rich and poor. We all suffer. And I'm really meditating on just the white lies. I'm done. I'd rather not speak than tell a white lie. Um, I'd rather, rework the question. Like it's like, the typical one, women ask her boyfriend, do I look fat in that dress? Or, do I look, does my outfit look all right? And guys, joke about this, comedians joke about this. And, it's, and if you don't want to tell her the truth, say, well, you're in a dress. How do you feel? Like, how do you really feel? Okay, so let's say she need another size larger, and you don't want to say that. I've been there. Women we know. And this could be for anything. And so that's another technique. Just rework the question so that they're forced to answer it because they already know. And if she like, no, all right, I'll wear it. I'll look like, let it go. She won't get that message sooner or later because it's going to be another issue. It's going to be something even bigger than her man. It's going to be a job opportunity or something, and she could have had it if, she lost a few pounds. And I know that may sound, sexist or something, but I'm just using it as a typical thing because everybody can relate to that. And but that the opportunity really means a lot to her, and that person says, look, I'm gonna offer you the job. Can you get it off, like 10 pounds in 2 weeks, 3 months. We'll be fair. We don't want anybody do crash diets, but master cleanse 2 weeks. Okay, it works. Be safe though. And so, with that being said, the reward and punishment, issue we have on, let's readjust it. Yes, we need discipline. Yes, and white lies. I say no more white lies. Don't say anything. Let's just say no comment if you really want to. If you're embarrassed, check it off your speaker bucket list. Laugh it off. Change the subject. People, look, things are happening so fast. People are not going to remember that. Look at all these celebrity scandals. You know, the celebrities know, don't say anything. The scandal is out. Don't say anything, because that 24 hours is going to be a bigger it's going to be a bigger controversy, and we're going to get away scot free. It happened, and that's a whole other topic too. Like, we got to stop letting folks get away scot free, because it messes us all up. But that's another talk. So, thank you for listening. If you'd like to support, please do so. You know, subscribe, share the video, and if you have any comments, leave them below. And when I get some lives going on, I would love to start a panel so we can really get into the root of humanity, so we can uproot these weeds, you know, once and for all, so we can truly thrive instead of simply surviving. We're living beings. We're not drones. We're not robots. We're not slaves. We're not automatons. You know, it's time to live. So that's it for me. Simon Monique, a new way. Be wise and be well. Be well and be wise. Thank you.